Remember to love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. When I think about loving our neighbor the same way I love myself, or I love my family or my husband and my kids, it comes to my mind, an example in my mind, that even though we love our husband, our spouses, or our family deeply and we die for them, sometimes we don't like them. And it's okay to tell them, I love you, but I don't like you right now. And guys, that's part of being human, right? Good morning, buenos dias, happy Tuesday, my friends, my brothers and sisters. In my daily devotional this morning, it was so amazing. It was covering Matthew 22:37. And if you know about this verse, it's about love. Yes, Matthew 22:37 states, Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind." This verse is part of Jesus' response to a question about which commandment is the greatest in the law. He emphasized loving God with one's entire being. That's beautiful. Here's a more detailed breakdown about the meaning, the importance, and some follow-up call to action. As a simple meaning, this command emphasizes in the totality of love, including one's emotions, one's wills, and one's intellectual. It implies a complete devotion and dedication of God. And that's the part that, as a human, we sometimes struggle. And now, what is important? The most important part of this command or this verse is, this is presented as the first commandment, the first and greatest commandment, forming the foundation for all the other commandments. It's like a chain reaction. And now, this is Jesus' follow-up, or let's say call to action. He's calling us to act this way. Jesus then adds a second commandment, which is similar to the prior one. It's like a chain reaction, to love one's neighbors as oneself. So love our neighbor like ourselves. That's the challenge, but that's the beauty of love. And my question is, why it is so hard to love our neighbor? What is so hard for me sometimes to love our neighbor that make me feel uncomfortable, or upset me, or was mean, or was hurtful, or did something to my kids? Why? It's time for my walk, my first walk in the morning. I'll meet you in the street. I'll be back. Okay, this is a quick walk. It's my first break in the morning. I'm trying to schedule 15 minutes walk because that's good for me and good for my well-being and my mental wellness. So yes, we were talking about why it's so hard to love our neighbor like we love ourselves, right? That's the tricky part. And love is one of the most talked about topics in church, in social media, in between family members, quoting sermons, quoting the wedding vows, and even sports arena. Love, 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 love. Love your neighbor. Always talk about it. Yet, despite its familiarity, we feel so comfortable about it. Loving our neighbors remains a real challenge. And that's a real challenge, guys. I'm not saying it's easy for me either. Our church recently, in our family formation classes, moved from study Exodus to 1 Corinthians, which is shifting from the old 10 commandments and Old Testament to Paul's teaching on love and the greater love, right? Many of us feel relief, like me, because I found the Old Testament sometimes very complex and mysterious and scary. And I love that we're moving to New Testament because I feel better. But remember, the law of love in the New Testament is not separate from the Old Testament. It's all about the law and God's law, the love. And I know I don't like the Old Testament that much, but one of the nuns remind us that the law of law in the New Testament is not separate from the Old Testament. It's very intertwined into each other. Yeah, it made me think, why is it so hard for us to love our neighbors the way they are, right? You won't lie to them. You won't cheat. You will not put trash in their neighbor's backyard, you will not harm them, right? You will not harm your neighbor if you love them. So if you love your neighbor, you will not do those bad things. And loving our neighbors the same way we love each other comes with acceptance and not envy anybody or not feeling jealous of anybody's success. But you guys, it takes only 2 minutes of scrolling through Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram to begin desiring or wishing what other people has or wishing someone else's success. That's the reality. I truly think that social media nowadays is making this command very, very hard to achieve. Social media make it easy to desire what other people has or what other people's success or what other people's like posts, right? Whether it's their home, relationship, lifestyle, what they're eating. Can you imagine? A constant comparison and the quiet comparison that we do in our home, that's what start corroding, that's what start eroding our ability to love somebody else or love our neighbor, because we're always desiring something else or somebody else's success or somebody else posting, I don't know. So next time you're scrolling and visiting social media, think about Matthew 22. Love God fully. That will help you to be less jealous and be less negative about your neighbor's success or your neighbor's home or your neighbor's blessing. Yes, love your neighbor like you love yourself. But that kind of love that really is not easy to do, but is a challenge that is the easy way to take. Not just being polite, just love them. Love them with all your heart, despite their flaw, despite their faulty errors, just as we hope to be loved despite ours. Remember that. That's the key. We love to be loved. Yes, love your neighbor like you love yourself.